Well, good morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Taylor Stephenson with 13 News Now, here with our weekday weather desk, where we highlight the biggest weather stories, not only here in Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina, but also around the country and around the world. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. We are going to talk mainly about what's going on across a lot of the Mid-South. Now, this is a 24 to 48 hour loop of what has happened over the past 2 days in the Mid-South, specifically Kentucky. They were hit by multiple hours of continuous heavy rainfall as a low pressure system and cold front moved through the area. This was the same cold front that moved through our area yesterday morning into the afternoon that caused the really strong winds ahead of the front, but also the strong to severe thunderstorms we also saw. But this was devastating in places like Kentucky. The weekend storms caused widespread flooding, killing at least 9 people in Kentucky. One person was also killed in Georgia as the storm hit the East Coast, ABC's Allison Cossack has the latest.
This morning, a massive storm sweeping across the eastern U.S., leaving more than 430,000 customers without power. At least 9 people killed in Kentucky, including a mother and her 7-year-old child, after more than 6 inches of rain battered parts of the state.
This is one of the most serious weather events we've dealt with in at least a decade.
These cars in Louisville submerged, trapping drivers.
It was dark. You can't tell that it's that deep of water. It looks like an inch, and the next thing you know, you're in 2-3 foot of water.
The severe flooding prompting more than 1,000 water rescues. The storm also bringing heavy rain and strong winds to Georgia. In Atlanta, 1 person died after a tree fell on their home. In Florence, Mississippi, one man described the frightening moments a large tree crashed through his grandparents' roof.
We're all sitting here in the living room. The rain started, and then it almost sounded like a freight train coming through.
Farther north, people in parts of Massachusetts are digging out after as much as 6 inches of snow fell. Across the country, the severe weather causing a headache for air travelers. The rain, snow, and high winds contributing to nearly 10,000 flight delays and more than 1,800 cancellations yesterday. As the storm moves out, bitter cold moves in. 35 degrees below zero is expected in Bismarck, North Dakota this morning. Meanwhile, another storm is expected later this week.
We're going to start to see that snow track across places like Kentucky on Wednesday, arriving in the mid-Atlantic and Northeast by Thursday, just in time for that critical Thursday morning commute.
Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Now, again, that was the severe weather that happened in Kentucky, but that was all a part of the same system that rolled through our area yesterday. It caused the high winds, but also the severe thunderstorms. We had 1 severe thunderstorm in our area that was mainly for our extreme southwestern areas, and it brought some gusty winds up to about 60 miles per hour. But some of these thunderstorms brought wind gusts of up to 70 miles per hour, a little bit of hail, but also really heavy rainfall. So we are thinking about our friends in the mid to deep south as they are continuing to recover from what was this really impactful cold front that rolled through the area throughout the weekend. But as we head to the west, that's where we find places like Denver, where they've seen a little bit of snow across the area for their weekend as well. And in those areas, we are even talking some of that snow being super deep. So let's take a look at our U.S. snow depth. And right now, as of this morning, about 71% of the U.S. is covered in snow. Now, mainly going from the northern U.S. and Canada border all the way down through places like the Rocky Mountains and into Colorado, where places in Colorado right now are seeing some of that snow depth anywhere from 12 inches to up to anywhere to 2 feet to 3 feet of snow. Now, with the severe weather sweeping across the country this holiday weekend, it created hazards for travelers by canceling flights and closing roadways. Now, one man in Colorado says he was rescued from an avalanche. Maggie Wozlowski from ABC's Denver 7 has a story.
Snowy holiday weekend means many are mountain bound.
Historically, President's Day is always very busy, so you, as well as thousands of other people, are headed to the slopes.
Besides heavy traffic, officials warned of high avalanche danger.
We had a big dry period at the end of January, beginning of February. those dry periods build weak layers in the top part of the snowpack. And then when we get storms on top of those, we get these type of avalanches that are a little bit more surprising.
More surprising was an avalanche hit Loveland Pass, sweeping up this truck with Vu Wen inside.
Then next thing I know, some white stuff coming down. Again, I thought it was just, wind blowing snow. Next thing I know, it was pushing the truck. And then it was sliding, rolling, and I knew it turned over at least once or twice after that.
Vu, a longtime skier, was visiting his brother-in-law in Denver and driving his truck.
You drive through, warning signs that say avalanche area. Never give it a second thought, right? But until it pick your big truck and roll it off like a toy truck, it gets real very quick.
He says he was able to unbuckle the seatbelt and push snow off of him, but it was strangers, he says, who helped him get out alive.
There was a few guys who threw down the rope and pulled me up. I don't remember their face, but I would never forget their act of kindness.
Again, that was our station out in Denver. I'm glad that he made it out safe. Now, we are talking a little bit of a switchover. Again, back to that storm that happened for us yesterday that caused all the flooding back in Kentucky. That caused really strong winds here in Hampton Roads and northeastern North Carolina. Now, yesterday, we had some really gusty conditions. We were underneath a high wind warning across the area where peak wind gusts anywhere from 50 to 60 miles per hour, but that bullseye, the strongest winds, were around the Newport News, Norfolk, and Hampton and Virginia Beach areas, where Newport News saw wind gusts peak as high as 52 miles an hour, 55 in Norfolk, and 56 in Virginia Beach. But area-wide, we saw wind gusts anywhere from 40 to 60 miles per hour. That was non-thunderstorm wind gusts. With some of the thunderstorms that we had with that heavier rainfall and as they blew through, I mean, they were racing through Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina. Some of those wind gusts were as high as 70 miles per hour within those thunderstorms. Now, today, we are still dealing with some elevated wind gusts across the area. Right now, across the eastern shore near Rochapre down near Cape Charles, we're talking wind gusts as high as 15 to 30 miles per hour. On the peninsula, Hampton, Newport News, and Williamsburg, we're seeing recent wind gusts as high as 20 to 25. South side a little bit breezier. Wind gusts anywhere from Franklin and Wakefield, 15 to 25 miles per hour. As you get into the eastern south side, we're seeing wind gusts anywhere from 20 to 35. So very breezy conditions, what's going to make it feel much colder outside as well. Recent wind gusts in northeastern North Carolina anywhere from 15 to 25 to 26 mile per hour wind gusts now recorded in Elizabeth City. But with the winds yesterday, crews with Dominion Energy are working to restore power after those strong winds and thunderstorms swept through the area. Nearly 27,000 people or households in our area were in the dark on Sunday. Dominion Energy says trees and tree limbs falling on the power lines are the main reason people lost power yesterday morning. Remember to stay away from down power lines. Power still runs through them, even if they're damaged. Power has been restored to most of the customers in our area, but nearly 20,000 people are still without power this morning, most of them being in central and northern Virginia in the Shenandoah Valley. Now, with any power lines outside the area, if you're walking around and you see anything, make sure to wear closed-toed shoes if you have to walk in those areas, but avoid any power lines. Again, power still runs through those areas. But again, the wind gusts today, not as strong as yesterday, but when you add the fact that we do have some wind gusts that right now, as we take this full, are anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour, we could see a wind chill for today that is much cooler than what we should see for the actual air temperature. So today we're talking temperatures somewhere into the lower 40s, but with the wind chill, we are talking wind chills anywhere from about 30 to 35 degrees, for the day today. So overall, it's going to be a very cold day. Current temperatures around the area right now are reflecting that. Right now, current temperatures are sitting in those upper 30s to the lower 40s. Right now, 40 in Norfolk, 38 as you get into Newport News. But as you add on to those feels like, then it just makes it feel colder when you have those gustier winds. So right now, in terms of the wind chill, we are seeing some sustained winds anywhere from about 10 to 15 miles an hour, gusts up to 20 to 35. But right now, the feels like temperatures across the area much colder, feeling more like 29 degrees in Newport News, 30 in Chesapeake, 27 in Wallops Island, and 30 out in Manio. But that's a whole different story than what they saw in California with the wildfires. Not long after those wildfires in Southern California, LA County got more than half a foot of rain, leading to mudslides along the Pacific Coast Highway. Several feet of mud on the roadways covered the roadways there in Malibu. Excavators brought in stuff to clear the way, but officials are saying it could take weeks to clear up. Here's ABC's Matt Gutman.
Powerful winter storm now sweeping east after unleashing flooding rain, devastating mudslides, even a tornado on Southern California. Multiple mudslides hitting the same communities ravaged by the deadly wildfires. This wall of muddy water blasting through Malibu, trapping a firefighter inside his vehicle, sweeping it off the road and into the ocean.
Hey, you all right? Get out! Get out! You all right? Was he in the vehicle?
You can see he makes it out with only minor injuries.
Are you okay?
In hard-hit Altadena, torrents of water and debris shutting down streets. This is a neighborhood that survived the Eaton fire, but that mud flow just ripped through here. And I want you to see that mailbox over there. That means we're standing on about 3 or 4 feet of mud. Within minutes, Ray Tyndale Sierra Madre home is besieged by sludge. Trash cans swirling, that SUV swamped. From the fires to the mud, did you anticipate this kind of whiplash?
No, we've been through, I've been here almost 40 years. And we've had like 3 fires, nothing like this. This is like the perfect storm.
And that system even churning up a tornado in Oxnard. Home surveillance video showing the moment 60-mile-per-hour winds ripped through this neighborhood.
And more than a month after the deadly wildfires tore through parts of Southern California, scientists are looking into how the flames are impacting the ocean. Crews are working to remove hundreds of thousands of tons of potentially hazardous materials from those fires. Fire debris and potentially toxic ash can make the waters unsafe for surfers and swimmers. For the long term, scientists are worried about how the debris could impact the food supply. Now, again, we are thinking about our friends out there in Southern California. We're going to change gears here to the mid-Atlantic, so the other coast, the East Coast. We had this really strong cold front roll through yesterday. This cold front brought us that line of storms, as you're seeing it replay. That was Sunday mid-morning through the very early afternoon. A very quick front, but that front brought in some really powerful south winds. So yesterday morning, we climbed to the lower 70s. It was a really warm day because those south winds transport that warm air. But ahead of that front and along the front, we saw some showers and thunderstorms. A couple of them became severe. We were underneath a severe thunderstorm watch around the mid-morning into the middle of the afternoon. But thankfully, we only had one warning, so we definitely made it a little bit less unscathed, a little bit more unscathed, excuse me, than places deep to our south where they had tornado warnings. Even just north of Richmond, there was also a tornado warning that popped up north of the metro. But for us, we are now dealing with much clearer conditions as that cold front is out of our hair, and we're dealing with Canadian high pressure starting to take over. Here's a look at your satellite and radar, and the only thing we're really starting to see anywhere here across the East Coast is just a few flurries getting closer to the Appalachian Mountains, Charleston, West Virginia, through Pittsburgh, Williamsport, and Albany, New York. Now, in upstate New York, there is a warning for some really heavy snowfall. They could see anywhere from 1 to 2 feet of snowfall over the next day or so as that lake effect snow starts to take form. For us today here in the mid-Atlantic, it will be a very calm but very cold day. Temperatures today will climb to the lower 40s as we get into the heart of the day. So right around lunchtime for us, Inland, you may make it just to the lower 40s. Near the coast, we may see some lower to middle 40s. But area-wide, the most we'll do today is the middle 40s. Now, our normal high temperature is around 53 degrees. And so we're going to be 5 to 10 degrees colder than where we should be for a mid to late February day. Well, the only thing that really makes up for it is the fact that we have a lot of sunshine going on across the area. A few passing clouds may come through, but we will stay dry, not only today, but into tomorrow as well. We still will see some wind gusts anywhere from about 20 miles per hour through the afternoon, but really starting to taper off as we get into the evening time where calmer winds will start to take over. Now, tomorrow, an even colder day. We're talking temperatures in the morning starting off near freezing around the coast. So inland, we could see temperatures as low as the middle 20s. So bundle up. But the issue with tomorrow, and same with today, is that we have a wind chill. Today, highs in the middle 40s will only feel like the upper 30s. Tomorrow, we're going to start off in near freezing, but feel more like the upper 20s. By the afternoon, only feeling like a couple degrees above freezing, even though our high temperature is around the 40-degree mark. Still 10 to 15 degrees colder than where we should be for this time of year. Now, the main thing a lot of people are tuning in for and want to know is what is going to happen Wednesday and Thursday here in parts of Hampton Roads and northeastern North Carolina. We are anticipating a winter storm coming through the area, and the bullseye for this winter storm, uncommonly, at least for the past few storms, has usually been Richmond. But we are now in the bullseye for the heaviest snowfall as a low pressure system tracks to our south and east through the midweek. So we have weather impact alerts for Wednesday and Thursday. For those who have been tuning into our weather desk every day, or you've been here and there, you may have heard us say weather alert day in the past. We've exchanged that wording for weather impact alert. It's the same thing, bringing attention to the days of the week where we'll see the most impactful weather. But the reason why we've really changed over to that weather impact alert is because we want to focus more on how the weather will affect your day-to-day life, not all the weather that will happen in the day, because it really will disturb your day, especially Wednesday and Thursday with this winter storm. So we like to do our WIN, our wind forecast, wind, impact, and need, so you know exactly how to prepare for an upcoming system. Again, Wednesday, Thursday, February 19th and February 20th. The main impact will be mainly snow, but we could see some sleet and ice, especially if you live in northeastern North Carolina. If you have friends in the Raleigh area, they also will see more of a snow, sleet, ice event. Here in Hampton Roads and Hampton Roads, we're really going to see a lot more snow than that sleet or ice. Cold rain will likely stay to our south. So what you need to do is limit your travel across the area, especially on Wednesday and into Thursday. We'll see widespread snow throughout the day on Wednesday, and that snow will start to taper off by Thursday morning. But travel will be hard, but almost nearly impossible during this time, because some of these snowfall forecasts are calling from anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of snow here in Hampton Roads between Wednesday and Thursday. So let's break it down. There's a lot to really break down with this forecast, so we're going to take it slow. Let's take this graphic full so we can show everybody where they're expecting that snow to come first. It's going to be a more west to east movement across the area. We're going to see temperatures in the morning around the lower 20s to the lower 30s. Now, of course, this is all below freezing. One of the hardest parts about being in the mid-Atlantic is that usually we struggle to get right around that freezing line, where we kind of sit right there or right above 32 degrees. And that's why it's hard for us sometimes to get that widespread snow, just because temperatures are just slightly too warm. But it looks like for Wednesday, we're gonna be right where we should be for an all snow event. Temperatures again in the lower 30s to lower 20s. We're gonna start off with overcast skies. This is our graph model. It's been doing really well when it comes to winter storms this season. So we're gonna look at this first, but I'm going to show you the American model and the European model as well. Snow starts during the work commute on Wednesday, becomes more widespread by lunchtime. Notice that the heaviest snow bands will be somewhere in between Hampton Roads south side and northeastern North Carolina. Peninsulas, which usually gets a lot of the snow that we see across the area for any winter storm, will actually see some of that building throughout the day. So lower snowfall totals for places like Richmond, Tappahannock, Chincoteague, Melfa, West Point. Ongoing snow continues according to the graph through the afternoon into the early evening and even overnight Wednesday into Thursday morning. Now, the graph model only goes out 3 days, so we can only get a little bit of a view through early Thursday morning. This stops right now at 4 a.m. Temperatures still below freezing all day long through your Wednesday, overnight Wednesday, into the day, the morning on Thursday. But notice how the heaviest snow starts to move well out to sea, and then we start to see that freezing line pop up near the Albemarle Sound into the Outer Banks, where we could see a little bit of ice mixed in with that cold rain for places like Kill Devil Hills, even south into places like Buxton. But up through the south side, parts of northeastern North Carolina and the peninsulas, still seeing some of those scattered snow showers coming through. Very breezy as well as we get into your Thursday. Wind gusts as high as about 30 miles per hour at the very least. This is the American model. It starts us off with a little bit of sleet, as you can see anywhere around the I-95 corridor and the I-85 corridors. We're seeing a little bit of that sleet, maybe a little bit of sleet on Wednesday afternoon, becoming some snow. Now, this shows that we may be on that cusp of that freezing line. This is usually one of the most common setups we see here in Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina, where temperatures are just wavering right around that 32-degree mark. So it makes it hard to really nail down where this will be. But I will say the American model is an anomaly compared to the rest of the models that are predicting a more widespread snow instead of a snow, sleet, rain mix event. But still, heavy snowfall possible according to the American model for places like Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and north. This will continue through Thursday morning and then tapering off by Thursday afternoon. The American model also keeps the snow lingering just a little bit longer into Thursday afternoon and into Thursday evening. Here is a European model, and it shows more of a widespread snow, but that snow, sleet, rain line going straight through parts of the middle to southern Outer Banks. So Nags Head may see some ice, some sleet in this situation. Now, again, these are different scenarios. They all use different weather numerical outcomes to get a different solution. So not saying one is going to be the one compared to the others, but we also cross compare how the models do compared to what actually happened. And so far, the graph model has been doing really well. So we like to lean more towards our confidence when the reliability is there, but the European model is one of the better global models when it comes to long-range forecasting. Now, with this system, according to European model, by Wednesday night, we're talking very heavy snow, even some wet snow possible for the northeastern North Carolina in this situation, tapering off by Thursday morning. Now, these snowfall totals have been huge for these models. We will give you our updated, or our newest snowfall total maps from the 13 News Now Weather Impact Alert team for today once we get into the afternoon, after we converse with each other, cross compare, so we can give you our view of what we think snowfall totals will be. So we're gonna right now show you what the models think. This is the American model, staying dry Monday and Tuesday. It's Wednesday morning where we start to see a little bit of snow accumulate, becoming much more widespread by Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Right now, again, Norfolk, Hampton Roads, northeastern North Carolina, our viewing area being the bullseye, anywhere from 5 to 10 inches of snow possible with the GFS or the American model through Thursday afternoon. Just putting on the same time frame for the European, staying dry today and tomorrow, but snowfall totals even higher than the American model, bringing us anywhere from a foot of snow in that purple and upwards, and then in the dark blue, anywhere from 5 to 10 inches of snow up through the peninsulas, we could see maybe 5 to 8, and then out in Richmond 4. So regardless of how much snow we do see, both models say that we are in that zone to see the highest snowfall in Virginia and North Carolina between Wednesday and Thursday. It all really depends on where that track of the low pressure system goes. The further south this system goes, the more likely we are to see a widespread snow. If that low pressure system starts to track a little further north, then we would see more of a mixed type of situation with snow to the north, a little bit of mix to the middle, and then some mix to a cold rain to the south. Now, I would prefer to us to have this system where we do have mainly snow, because snow is much more easier to navigate than it is to deal with ice. Ice is so hard on our travel conditions. So this is a setup I would prefer, is to have this low pressure system south and head due east, just so our travel impacts are easier to navigate than compared to an icing situation where we could have, power outages and travel unpassable roads. So we'll see how this plays out. We still have a couple more days until we really can nail down this forecast. But again, for today and tomorrow, dry. Monday, today will be breezy. Again, we've already seen current wind gusts as high as about 25 to 35 miles per hour. That will make it feel colder. So today, even though we'll be in the middle 40s, we'll feel more like the upper 30s. Tomorrow, still cold, still sunny. Highs in the lower 40s after a start near freezing. Inland will be in the middle 20s, but we'll feel more like the middle 30s during the afternoon. So that heavy coat will be needed all week long. And as you see, today is the warmest day of the next 7. So that is showing you how cold it will be. Wednesday and Thursday, those are going to be our weather impact alert days, where we're going to see, weather impact alerts, where we're going to see those days being in the lower 30s for best in the afternoon. We may go anywhere from 24 to 36 hours possibly below freezing, and won't get out above freezing until Friday afternoon. But mainly snow, some sleet on Wednesday. Again, we could pick up anywhere from 2 to 6 inches of snow possible, but the Weather Service out in Wakefield, they have said that 6+ inches of snow are also possible here across the south side in northeastern North Carolina. So we're watching for the potential of a very impactful winter weather event on those days. It will taper off by Thursday morning into the very early afternoon, but still a very cold day, and Thursday will also be breezy. Highs at best at freezing, but it probably will feel more like the 20s when you add on those wind gusts as high as about 30 miles per hour. On Friday, still breezy, so feeling cold again and staying cold. Temperatures in the upper 30s with a lot of sunshine. That sunshine will continue for us through your weekend and will slowly warm up each and every day. Highs on Saturday in the lower 40s after a start in the middle 20s. We'll be starting around freezing on Sunday morning, making it into the middle 40s. But our normal high temperature again is in the lower to middle 50s. So every single day over the next 7 days will be below freezing by at least 5 to 10 degrees. As we get into Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be 20 degrees below normal for this time of year. So stay tuned to the forecast. We have 2 active stories on 13newsnow.com that highlight the 7-day forecast, but one that highlights specifically the winter weather that we are expecting during the middle of the week. So if you have more questions, you can head online to 13newsnow.com and we'll try to answer all the questions you have. We'll also give you updates throughout the day for our newscast. Our next newscast is at noon, and that's going to be with meteorologist Evan Stewart, and he'll give you the latest updates on this winter weather that is likely on Wednesday and Thursday. If you don't have it already, download the 13 News Now Plus app. You can find it on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. It's free, and we can send you alerts straight to your phone when impactful weather is coming through. You'll also get updates on when we're streaming, so you know when to tune in for live coverage of any any weather that we may be talking about, you can download the 13 News Now Plus app there with a QR code or type it into the search bar on either of those platforms. Thank you so much for joining me today for the Weather Desk. And I'm meteorologist Taylor Stephenson here at 13 News Now in Norfolk, Virginia. This happens every weekday at 9 a.m. We talk about the most impactful weather here across the Mid-Atlantic, across the nation, and across the world. Thank you so much for joining me. And Craig Muller, meteorologist Craig Muller, will join you tomorrow for the latest updates on our winter weather here and the weather around the world.